Guilty of culpable homicide. Was this expected based on yesterday's deliberations?
Well, certainly that was the indication, Elvis, I must say, from late yesterday afternoon when Judge Thokozile Masipa said that she felt that Oscar Pistorius was negligent when he pumped those 4 shots through that door on that Valentine's Day. So certainly this morning, as we had been speculating all along, that Judge Thokozile Masipa will find Oscar Pistorius guilty of culpable homicide. I must tell you that Oscar Pistorius has spent the past 20 minutes at the holding cells here. Really an unfamiliar place for Oscar Pistorius. You would know that he was granted bail at the Pretoria Magistrates Court. Now, automatically, once you are found guilty of a crime, the bail then lapses. But certainly there's been a lot of reaction that has been coming here from the North Gauteng High Court. We've heard the ANC Womens League say it's been a travesty of justice and that this should not have happened. How are the Steenkamps going to cope? We also tried to get a sense from the Women's League how the Steenkamps are coping. We saw Reva Steenkamp's cousin Kim Myers from Cape Town, you'd recall. She last saw Reva Steenkamp a month before Oscar Pistorius shot her dead. So there's been a lot of emotion inside the court. We also saw Oscar Pistorius' uncle Arnold also really hugging Oscar Pistorius once that verdict had been completed. But also to get more reaction now, I'm going to talk to Natim Mncube, who is the spokesperson of the National Prosecuting Authority. Mr. Mncube, thank you very much for your time. Certainly not a favorable verdict for the prosecution?
Well, it is obviously not what we're looking for. We had charged the accused with murder, premeditated murder. We also charged him with other 3 counts, and he was only convicted today of culpable homicide and of 1 charge of discharging a firearm negligently. So as an NPA, of course, we are disappointed at that, but we respect the judgment that was delivered today. As a constitutional institution, it is important for us to send this message to the members of the public that the courts are not just there to rubber stamp the decisions that we as prosecutors feel they should take, or even as members of the public that we think the court should have taken. I think we must respect the process. The process is still underway. There's still going to be a sentencing phase that must take place. But I think at this point it is fair for us to say that, of course, we are disappointed.
Well, essentially, what Judge Thokozile Masipa has said, not in those exact words, but it seems that the state's case was weak, that you couldn't prove beyond reasonable doubt a majority of what was put before this court.
Well, hence I said that we are disappointed with the judgment, but we respect her views, we respect the judgment itself. As I said, at this point in time, we are unable to comment fully because the matter is still sub judice, as you know. The sentence has not been imposed. Once the processes have been concluded, the sentence being imposed, only then as NPA will be able, to comment fully, but also, to consider our options that might be available to us.
Speaking about those options, will you also appeal on the dolus eventualis issue? We understand as well that Judge Thokozile Masipa said that, Oscar Pistorius could, for example, he could not have known who was behind that door when he pulled the trigger. Are there grounds, do you think, for appeal on your part at this stage? Any decision on that?
Okay. Well, there's no decision at this point on whether we're going to appeal or not and on what we're going to appeal. And as I said, it will obviously be highly unethical for us to comment on that at this point because the process is still underway. We'll have to wait until the whole trial is concluded. Only then we'll be able to fully and consider our options, whether we want to appeal or not, and if yes, we're appealing, on what grounds are we going to appeal.
Well, the state has also put grounds right now for there to be a decline in the extension of the bail. One of those issues was that Oscar Pistorius has sold his house. He's staying at his uncle's place, and several other issues relating as well to the psychiatric report, the psychologist report that says that Oscar Pistorius is a suicide risk. Are you hoping that in the next few minutes that you might be successful in that bid to get Oscar Pistorius's bail revoked?
Well, we have the responsibility, Griselda, as NPA, that once the bail has lapsed, of course there has to be an application by the defense to have that bail extended. And as the NPA, you know, if you recall, we had opposed bail to be granted, and we still have that responsibility to make sure that after considering, of course, the factors that were given to the court this morning, that the accused has become a flight risk at this point, and we are of the view that as a result, you know, he needs to be kept in custody until his matter is finalized.
As always, thank you very much for your time. There, the NPA saying quite a disappointing verdict as Judge Thokozile Masipa wrapped that up. What we're looking to now is the bail, the extension of the bail, and whether Judge Thokozile Masipa will be handing that down, when that will happen. I think that's in about, say, the next 20 minutes at 12:30. That's when we're expecting that to get underway. We're also hearing as well from the Steenkamp family that it doesn't seem that they will be addressing the media now after the court adjourns. The Steenkamp family is saying they're still distraught at this stage. We also asked Arnold Pistorius, Oscar's uncle, on whether they will be addressing the media. He simply ignored me, so that also remains to be seen. But what we're looking for at this stage at 12:30 is whether Oscar Pistorius's bail will be extended or not. But for now, for the next 20 minutes, Oscar Pistorius will spend some time in the holding cells here at the North Gauteng High Court. Back to you in studio.
Griselda, just a question before you go, though. You mentioned the ANC Womens League a little bit earlier. Any reaction from them and some of the lobby groups, and have you engaged with them around this issue?
Well, certainly, I've just spoken to Jackie Mufokeng, who is the spokesperson for the ANC Womens League here in Gauteng. You would recall she's always been sitting right next to June Steenkamp in the gallery since the very beginning, since the bail application at the Pretoria Magistrates Court. And what she's saying is that this is such a travesty of justice. She says that women, I quote, she says, women in this country are not safe. They're saying they're very disappointed. They were expecting Oscar Pistorius to go down on a murder rap in this case, and what they're essentially saying is that, you know, something needs to happen. They're saying they're very disappointed in the justice system at this stage. They will be releasing an official statement at a later stage, but I'm sure we will hear from them as well. There are also some other groups that are also here at the North Gauteng High Court, but they've been waiting for the proceedings to come to an end before they can comment as well.
Thank you so much for your report there. That was Griselda Lewis, our reporter on the scene at the North Gauteng